in both years.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the first year, I think they lost to the Bengals.
Yep.
I think we can remember that game. And then in 2000, so in 2020, they lost to the Ravens. And then in 2021, they lost to the Bengals. And so I guess my point in saying that is looks like they were good enough to be in the playoffs. I'm assuming they were pretty solid. I can't remember who their linebackers and stuff though were at that time.
It was Long and I can't think of the other guy's name, but I think Harold Landry just got started with them during that time as an edge rusher. You know, they always had Isaiah Simmons and the other guy Autry. So they had a very good team. When they lost to the Bengals, it was because the Bengals ran all over them. It was because freaking Tannehill had
Terrible.
3 interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
But
Terrible.
that defense actually dominated that game. If you actually go back and look at that game, and
Yeah,
then
that was when they were destroying Joe
mm-hmm.
Burrow, but it
Yeah,
just didn't matter because Joe Burrow
they had like eight
became
sacks that
Superman.
game. They had like eight
Yeah.
sacks that game, and then the year prior to the Ravens, they just got ran through by the Ravens. Lamar Jackson and them, they just ran through them that year. That was revenge for in 2019. They celebrated on the Ravens logo, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
And then the Ravens came back and beat them. But
Okay.
NYG
Well,
make a good
listen.
point.
Yeah, good point. I'm just throwing out, like I said, random pieces of data that I can find
Yeah.
on Google
Nah,
within
yeah.
3 minutes.
Numbers.
Yeah, I get it.
when you over here with the Big Blue Crew, numbers only tell part of the story to us. We don't just go, oh, look at that stat, they must suck. No, I look at the whole film of things. I look at because certain
You
times,
watch a lot of film of it.
yeah, certain times that team might just be fatigued that game, or
True.
somebody might have just been off that game. But I do believe with Bobby O and McFadden having another
And
year
then sometimes
together.
people do just suck too. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
leave
true.
that out.
That's true. But I think Bobby O and McFadden with Dexter Lawrence, I just think that we won't have a huge problem stopping the run this year. I just don't think we do. Because we have people like Phillips, we have people like DJ Davidson, we have people like Riley, who I believe is gonna elevate his play, and Jordan Phillips is gonna be Dexter Lawrence's breather. Like, I don't think Phillips is going to get a bunch of snaps. I think he's just going to get those snaps when they want to pull Dexter Lawrence off the field to give him a breather.
Yeah.
Because I think
he's snaps too.
Yeah, and when it comes to big run situations like 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s, you might see Phillips and Dexter Lawrence in there together. I just don't think we have a huge problem stopping the run this year. But the biggest test is going to be against the Eagles, because they're going to have to run the ball in order to be successful. Yo, Mark Stewart, thank you for becoming another. Well, you ain't a new member. You've been a member since I've been here, but he renewed his membership. Appreciate you for talking your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk. But let's get back into the video a little bit and let's see exactly what they say about Mr. Shane Bowen.
So in this video, I want to discuss what exactly the Titans' defensive scheme is, where they struggled, where they succeeded, and what caused such a significant improvement from 2020 to 2021. For the most part, I'm going to focus on Shane Bowen as opposed to individual players, because a lot of those guys will get separate videos themselves. But obviously, the improved personnel was a major factor. Mike Vrabel's defensive philosophy has been difficult to pin down up to this point, because if we rewind back to his first NFL job, he was the linebackers coach in Houston under Romeo Crennel, who ran the 2-gap, 3-4, and played a lot of cover 2, and he kept that scheme going when he became the Texans DC in 2017. Then in 20...
Okay, so Coach, you know a lot about these coverages. I love the way you explain how the coverages go. With the personnel do we have, do you believe we're going to run a lot more cover 2 or a lot more cover 3? Or should we be one of those teams that runs that cover 0 look, but get back into the defense and run like a cover 6 or a cover 9? When I mean by cover 6, we have a deep safety, both DBs will go into a cover 3, or they'll do a cover 2 shell on the side, and they'll run. The linebackers will run and cover the seams as far as getting towards the middle of the field. That's where what's the boy we got from Arizona? That's where he comes into play. Man, what's his name? The linebacker we just re-signed.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, that's where Isaiah Simmons comes into play, to being underneath those coverages in the middle of the field.
Too, we drafted Darius. What's his name? Masood.
Oh, from UCLA. Yeah. You're talking about which bro from UCLA?
Kid we drafted.
Oh yeah, the Samoan.
Darius Masua or something like that.
Yeah, Masua, something like that. But explain the coverages to him if you want to, Coach. And with Cordell Flott maybe being the number 2, and Banks, and Newman's going to be a starter with Pinnock. How do you think our secondary will play behind our edge rush this year?
Okay, in terms of the coverages starting with cover 3. Cover 3 means that you have one defensive back who's basically in the middle of the field, and usually his responsibility is going to be coverage in between the hashes. Don't let anybody get deeper than you, and play in between the hashes. Then you're going to have 2 defensive backs who are going to be responsible for the hash to the sidelines. Now, safety and a cornerback, or it could be the 2 cornerbacks. All right, so that's where you have your cloud and your sky coverages come into play. Cover 2, everyone usually knows, is you have it's really from hash to the sideline. To be honest with you, you might play your guys on the hash, and they're able to jump to the middle of the field in case anything goes there. But I know I have long hair. I get it. But yeah, you have cover 2 that they're responsible for playing in between the hashes to the sidelines. Now, underneath that, in the cover 3, there's certain responsibility. There's a flat, there's a hook, there's a curl, and then sometimes you could say there's the middle underneath. In terms of that cover 3, you're really responsible for the hook, the curl to the flats. That's really what you're looking to cover in the cover 3. In the cover 2, you're really covering the flats. Now, it depends on your cover 2. If you're playing a cover 2 read, that means what they're doing is they're reading the number 2 receiver to the number 1 receiver. And if both go vertical, then the cornerback will turn and cover number 1 going up the field. But yeah, cover 2 is usually the flat area is covered, then the hook, the curl, and then the middle of the field is covered in the cover 2. So that's usually what you mean by the past concepts in terms of cover 3 and then cover 2. There's one other one, which is quarters. Quarters is basically it's reverse of cover 2. Cover 2 is that the cornerbacks handle the sidelines, and then you have 2 safeties who are handling the seams, which are the hash marks, and the other cornerback on the other side. And then underneath, they're usually taking the middle of the field. Maybe they're pushing a little bit to the strong side with that linebacker, whoever's in the middle. And then you cover the hook, the curl to the flat. So, and when I say hook to curl, it just usually means that's a pattern that's run. There's a stop where they run, stop, and turn around to the quarterback. That's usually a hook. And then the curl is just you're usually running and you're running and then you're coming back a little bit more. So they're pretty much the same, and they're usually within the same area. The hook will the hook will probably ride the seam. The curl will probably ride a little bit towards the number. So it's just
the hook curl. That's Jason Garrett's offense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and basically what he's saying, like the hook curl in the zone of the defense, if you play Madden, it's the zone that's purple and they come down.
Yeah, I don't play Madden, so I'm sorry. I don't play Madden.
I'm talking about for people that don't know and play Madden, that's what a hook curl is.
Yeah.
They mostly run that in like cover 1 or robber.
Yeah. For those who don't know, you play 2 safeties up, and then one is going to go over the top, and the other one is going to come down and play anywhere in the area, whether he's going to sit in the hook or in the seam area or go into the middle of the field too. So, those are, if you hear those terminologies, that's just really all it means, just to help you guys. So, And your teachings within the zone concepts. Some will just say play area. Some will say bump and ride a little bit of man and pass responsibilities. Where I mix it up. Where if guys are riding with someone, you're always telling them in, out, out, out. You're telling whoever's on the other side that someone is coming to your area, so be aware of it. So it's just little things of that nature. So.
Now, if you want a little bit more knowledge, since everybody think I don't watch film or anything on Twitter, when you let's just say they run a cover zero look, because you can run a cover zero look out of this too. Hey, Nerd Cage, what's good, bro? Hope all is well, man. Been checking out your channel, man. Y'all do good work. You can turn it into a cover 6.
Mm-hmm.
And what a cover 6 is say we line up in a cover 0 formation on defense, but they got to spread out. They got like 3 receivers on one side, another receiver, and a tight end on the left side. The cover 6 is basically like a box triangle. You want to put the people on the most side of the field, the people they have on the most people they have on the side of the field. So if they got 3 receivers on the right and 2 receivers on the left, you're going to want to form that box on the right. And what I mean by the box is you box all 3 of those receivers. You will have 4 people that will be covering those 3 receivers over there, because we're going to back out. We're going to probably send the middle linebacker and maybe the DB that's up there. They're going to send them back, and it's going to have those guys in a box. Now, the safety's always going to have to take the furthest defender, the DB right here. If you have them in a cover 3, now the safety could come in and take the slot and make sure that slot defender doesn't beat them on a deep end or beat them in a seam route. But the crazy part about this defense is you have to be sound, because that safety also has to watch a deep dig coming from the left, because if that deep dig goes all the way across the field, he has to pick him up, because there will be nobody there, because everybody else is covering drags or end routes on the other side. And then the triangle is basically the same thing, but you could do it with only 3 instead of 4. So I believe they're going to do that a lot this year too, and I think that's why they brought Isaiah Simmons back, because he has enough speed to get back in the middle of the field to cover those seams if they run a seam route with a tight end, try to open that box as per se. But I mean, it is what it is. I love to study things like that. Not going to continue to. I'm not going to say bore you guys, because there's over 100 of you guys in here, but it's a cover 9 version of it as well. But I can't wait to do the film reviews with Coach this year. And it's not to prove anybody on Twitter wrong. Oh, you don't watch film, you don't know what you're talking about. It's just something that we love to do over here with the Big Blue Crew. Everybody studies film. Everybody wants to know the why. Why did we get our ass whooped this week? Why we can't run the ball? Why we can't pick up 3rd and 1? And NYG, I don't know if I can handle another season not picking up 3rd and 1.
Please don't take me there. Please don't take me. Take it.
So frustrating.
Either defend it or actually pick up a 3rd and 1 on offense. Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, that short offense. And I'll be honest with you, it could be worse this year if this offensive line is not what it's projected to be. I'll tell you that, because we don't have the running backs to do it. We gonna see, man. But let's get a little bit more into the film. I don't know how long Ms. Really Flawed could be with us, but I'm not gonna go too much longer. I was only planning to do an hour, but you guys always get me.
I'm just here. Listen, I'm just a part of the group. I'm just here, I'm just here so I don't get fined. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice.
But no, like I just enjoy listening to, I think it's funny because it's like all bad teams, or all teams that are not very good, all kind of struggle with the same things. It's what makes us not very good. So even though the Steelers were in the playoffs last year, like we struggled also on 3rd and 2 and below. Hell, we struggled scoring, period, until the 4th quarter. So I hear you.
Yeah, the Steelers and Giants are so similar historically. I mean, they're usually good when they have a good defense. You know, they usually have pretty good wide receivers. Like they're pretty,
Yeah,
you know,
that's why
Hall
they're
of Fame
so.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got a
I
very
think
good
the only
relationship
difference,
between them.
yeah, the only difference is our coaching. I feel like Mike
Yep,
Tomlin always puts us
Yeah,
over the
it's been more
his
consistent.
consistency.
Yeah, with Pittsburgh,
yep.
definitely.
Pittsburgh, y'all had like 3 coaches in 70 years. It's
I've only
crazy.
cheered for 2 coaches since
Yep,
I've been alive.
Bill
Yeah, I've
Cowher
been,
and Mike
Coward and
Tomlin.
Tomlin,
It's
yeah.
I've
like,
been there for all three. I've been there for all three.
yeah.
So
Well, just
Alex, what's going
imagine
on?
how I was when we lost
That's
Ben.
good,
He was the
Alex.
only quarterback. I was like,
Yeah,
what is this? Like, what? So now what
because
do we do?
before Big Ben, it was Cordell Stewart and
And I
mhm.
was too. Yeah, no, I
Mike
wasn't.
Tomzak and Neil O'Donnell.
Mm-hmm.
Good lord,
Neil O'Donnell. Oh
The
man.
old-
Neil O'Donnell was trash, bro. And y'all made a Super Bowl with
don't
him at
forget about
quarterback.
Man.
don't forget about Bubby Brister.
Yep, Bubby Brister, trash.
Hi, Alex.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, nothing. Just hanging.
Hey, Alex, this is Miss Really Flawed, the lady I was telling you guys about, very knowledgeable with the game, and she graced us with her presence today, so we chilling.
Yeah.
But let's watch a little bit more film with this, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
If we look at the breakdown of their coverage usage from this season, you can see that they kind of
anything.
ran
I don't see anything.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to put it back on the screen. That's dumb. But as you can see, cover one. They ran 25.9% of the time.
Defense.
Cover two, they ran 13% of the time. 2-man, which they hardly ever run. Man up defense, they hardly ever run that, 3%. Cover 3, 32%, and cover 4/6. Remember, I told you about cover 6, 22% of the time. And this is before I even saw that. Looks like we're gonna be running a lot of cover 3. But I want them to add that cover 0 and cover 0 blitz out of it every once in a while.
2-man scares me.
Yeah, that 2-man scares me with Cordell Flott, especially if there's a bigger receiver on the boundary. But
it's not even Flott. It's Darnay Holmes if he's in there. God forbid.
Oh, Darnay Holmes,
He will be.
That's barbecue chicken.
Yeah, let's get back into the video. Good lord.
a little bit of everything. They were the only NFL team this year to not rank inside the top 10 for any coverage. And it wasn't because of indecisiveness or not being able to find something that worked. They were making a conscious effort to be as diverse and amorphous as possible so that offenses didn't know exactly what to expect from play to play or game to game. I discussed this in detail.
You see Kevin Byard right there?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Tyler Nubin can be. I don't know if you guys remember, but Kevin Byard was a monster for like 3 to 4 years before he went over there to Philadelphia. I think
Offenses
Tyler
didn't know
Nubin
exactly
can be that,
what to
bro.
expect from play to play or game to game. I discussed this in detail in my breakdown of the Chiefs game, but the Titans used a ton of post-snap safety rotation to...
See how they only sent 4 even when they blitz?
Mm-hmm. I just love this. Oh my gosh. I'm loving it.
See, this can turn into a whole nother show, so I'm gonna stop it right there because I'm finna start bringing it down, and it's gonna take a long time.
You can put so many, like, you can mix that up with linebackers, defensive backs, like that back 4. You see the front 4 rushing, but that middle 4, that next 4, you can do so much with that. You know what I'm saying? Because you have so many versatile pieces like Isaiah Simmons, like Tyler Nubin. Now, they brought in Phillips. They got Pinnock who can, rush, fly. So you have ball hawks as well that can do different things. So, I mean, look, they got options.
Yeah, Coach, we watching film. We watching film. I told you before, we watch film here just like you do, Coach.
We also have an undrafted free agent who led last season in interceptions. Or no, he was tied for what was it? 6th all time for college for interceptions. The
Oh,
undrafted
I know who
free
you're
agent.
talking about. I can't
Alex
think of his
Johnson.
name.
What school did he go to?
Shh. 1 second.
Is it Alex Johnson?
No, I'll tell you right now. Yes. Yep. Led the Pac-12 with 5 interceptions, 6'1.5", 185 pounds, cornerback. Yes, sir. Alex Johnson from UCLA.
And I will tell you
Alex,
this,
you get a cookie.
right? I will tell you this: Darnay Holmes won't see the field because I believe Drew Phillips will be the slot corner this year.
Please, please,
I
please.
dis- I get your sentiment, Pat, but I honestly disagree.
Well, okay, well, you haven't had your solo. Tell me why you disagree with that, sir.
Well, I thought they brought back Donnie Holmes for a reason, and I think he's
Special teams.
special teams. Yeah, and I think I was actually just watching, not even watching. I was creating a video on it about Donnie Holmes, and one of the things that sticks out is that his veteran experience, and whether you like it or not, he's a vet, and he's been on this team. He's played specials. He's done pretty much everything except play outside corner, and he has a leg up in pretty. When you talk about that slot room, and even just the DB room in general, he has a leg up amongst all these other guys. I think that the speed of the NFL game now, I hope I'm wrong, in terms of Andrew Phillips, I think there's going to need some adjusting to. I don't think he's going to be a starter on day one. To where Darnay Holmes, he fits the zone system. He's not going to get as many penalties. I think that's going to be where he makes it pretty much. Now, I think one of the things that could knock off on Darnay Holmes is, do we all remember in 2022 when Richie James started roasting him in training camp?
Mm-hmm.
I think if he gets roasted in training camp by these slot receivers that we have, like the Isaiah McKenzies of the world, then you're going to be saying, okay, then we need somebody else. And I think that's when they're going to make the transition. But in that case, if Andrew Phillips is far behind, then they'll probably stick somebody else. But to me, I don't think Cordell Flott, I think he's going to need a little bit more, I would say, tuning in his, because I know that there's a thing right there about him not understanding zone concepts. Aaron Robinson's way too injury prone. I like him, but he's just never on the field. Nick
I forgot he
McLeod,
was on the team.
yeah, Nick McLeod could be something. Trey Hawkins, that's pretty much an unknown. But going into the year, I honestly think it's going to be Darnay Holmes starting in the slot, unless a guy like David Long comes along. But again, I'm pretty much set that I think it's going to be Darnay Holmes starting week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, that's unpopular.
That's a very unpopular opinion because I don't want Darnay Holmes to touch the field, sir, unless he's a gunner on special teams. And I will ask you this, Alex. Do you believe that Drew Phillips won't start because of lack of talent or lack of experience?
I think he's got the talent. He was one of the guys I definitely eyed when I was down in Bama. He was actually one of the first guys I scouted. He had a pretty solid Senior Bowl, didn't stick out way too much like a guy like Kenyon Mitchell. But I watched his film. I definitely think he's got coverage instincts and all that sort of stuff. I think one of the things that is going to prevent him from coming on
I tried to let it go because there's a lady here, but pause, Alex. Go ahead.
That was a pause.
Hell yeah, there was a pause.
I don't even hear what he said. Good Lord.
But I think one of the things that we really don't talk about with Darnay Holmes, and not like he's sufficient, he's like superb at this. I think the speed of the game is going to delay Phillips on the field. I think the other thing that's going to delay Phillips on the field is his tackling, because it's not just being an open field tackler or whatnot. I think the Giants, with the way they've been so bad against the run, they need at least a solid force in the slot against the run. And I think Darnay Holmes has at least been manageable at that.
I think Darnay Holmes is real good at playing against the screen too. Go ahead, NYG.
Do you think Jalen Mills can play in a slot?
Yes, because it's stemming from his cornerback experience, but also last year, it was his first year at safety. I know a lot of people don't consider him a possible make on this roster. He's going to be one of the wild cards. It's like very interesting to watch in training camp where they put him, because they could put him at safety, they could put him at slot corner, they could put him in a couple of different areas just because of his experience. So I don't really know how to categorize him right now, because even then, I don't see, like, to me he's not starting outside. He's not starting in the slot, and he's definitely not starting at safety. So he would have to be some versatile Isaiah Simmons, not even, I'm not saying Isaiah Simmons, but Isaiah Simmons like piece that, okay, he's at the safety spot. Now he's in the slot. Now he's the here. Now he's there. Like, not good at one spot.
He ain't that damn nice.
Well, no,
Well, he
he's
would be
not.
a
He's also,
backup at all three spots. I see what you're saying. He would be
yeah.
like a backup slot corner, a backup safety, or a backup
Man,
outside corner.
I think Jalen Mills is going to be that veteran leadership on the bench, coaching these guys up. And if somebody gets hurt, we can put him in there. I believe he's brought here for depth, to be honest with you, because you got Dane Belton, Nubin, and Pinnock, and you know we still got Javarius Owens. And I know they're going to put him on a roster for special teams purposes. So does he make this roster? Maybe, because they may cut somebody like an Aaron Robinson, and they just have him as a dude that can play either position. So I do think he makes this team just because of his veteran leadership alone. You need those guys on the team. I know everybody has to be a 99 rating to certain people on Twitter and to make the team, but you need people like that on your team that can coach people up, because the coach, he has a job to do. And if you have a guy on the sidelines that can pull some young guys to the side, say, hey, young fella, I see this right here. You got the talent to do it. You can get right there and stop that play. I see it. You don't see it, but now I'm telling you, and now you do see it. So you do need guys like that on the roster. And I believe he does bring veteran leadership to this team, and he will make this team
Just a
somehow,
better
some
version
way.
of Bobby McCain.
Yeah. But we've been here an hour 30 strong.
What that
So
mean? That don't mean nothing. We go 15
obviously it
rounds,
don't.
bitch.
Right. Obviously it don't mean nothing. Every time I try to get out of here an hour, it winds up being 3.
I got something to say.
Well, say it, sir.
There you go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you ain't to blow me up like that. Goddamn.
You know,
Yeah,
get on with it.
Nah. Okay. So I was reading something earlier. Jordan Renan said that the Giants have the worst running back room. Right? Now, we all know that they were basically just depending on Saquon Barkley in the run game. Our offensive line sucked to the fifth power, and he was basically the bulk of our offense, which is why he kept getting hurt, because of our O line sucking and because of him being used so much until we got things somewhat acclimated. Never really got it going, but now we have 3 running backs. Don't really know who the running back is going to be, the primary running back. We don't have a big short yardage back. We got little shifty guys. And we really don't have an offensive identity. So my question is, do you think that there is going to be more than 10 rushes a game in this offensive scheme, regardless of who's running?
Did you say at least 10 or less than 10 rushes?
I think there'll be maybe 10 rushes a game. Based on what I see, we don't have a running back. We don't have a guy that we've singled out and said he's gonna be our starting running back. He's gonna be our bell cow. Right? We don't have Singletary, Gray, and Tyrone Tracy.
That is not a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a horrible problem to have.
Well, wait a minute. It's definitely going to be more than 10 rushes per game.
Okay, but look
I
at
think it has to be more than
has to
10
be.
rushes in
some
a
of the
game.
games we had with Barkley where he only ran the ball 9 times, 12 times.
But you just put that on one player. So
Yeah, you're
you
not
said your
accounting
question
quarterback
said
rushes.
no,
Right.
you
We're we have 3 backs, but we don't know if it's a primary back that we're using, if we're using all 3, if we have one that can be
No,
a bell.
I get you with that. I get you with that, Lou. But see, you said what I'm taking it as you're saying that we're only going to run no matter who 10 times per game. I'm sorry, Lou. If you get that's saying that each running back is going to at least run the ball 3 times per game. No, they're going to have to run more than that. So if you tell me each runner, even if they all run 5 times and Daniel Jones runs twice, that's 17 rushes per game. If you want to say you're going to do some reverses, because they have that in there also.
Oh, we got a bunch of people that could do a reverse.
Yeah,
On this thing.
so I'm are we going to run more than 10 times per game? Yes, I'm confident we are. Now, if you're
Okay.
going to say
That's
30
the
30
question.
to 40, no, I don't think we're going to do 30
Okay,
to 40.
now, thank you. Because here's the next part of that question. With the receivers and the running backs that we have a running back that was a receiver. We have a receiver that was a running back. So, do you expect to see a lot of trick and gimmick plays within the wide receiver and the running back group?
Consistently? Oh, go ahead, Pat. You got it. Go
I
ahead.
think because we don't have a big thumping running back, pause. We don't have a primary bell cow. They're gonna try to do a lot of misdirection and
But here's the other thing, Lou. Here's the other thing, because we do run a lot of crossers. We ran split zone. You can also, because we're trying to spread them out, you can run simple, old school, like West Coast offense concepts, short, simple 5 yard passings that you can supplement the run game too. So, yes, I get what you're saying. And yes, I do think we're going to pass a lot more than what we've been used to. But you can still attack them using the pass as a run game and still run, 20 times a game, 25 times per game, and still be an effective offense.
who will be the primary runner out of those 3?
But he could utilize right now. You could utilize anyone. Lou. You're look. You're used to we're having one guy that we can count on, and right now what he's saying is because just like the defense, they're trying to do so many different things defensively that teams are not picking up on. You could do the same thing offensively in the run game. Well, who are they going to use as their bell cow? Because now you can't defensively, you can't focus in on one running back. You now have to prepare for more people going possibly being on the field. So now that makes the other team do a lot more work too. And now you got to it's the game. It's the coaching game. I get it. I've experienced it. I've done it for 40 plus years. I've done that too. So you know what?
I'm just posing the question because
Yeah,
the
no, I got you.
conversation was fizzling down, and Pat was talking about winding down. No.
Oh, damn it! That's
We gotta sprinkle some life back into this motherfucker, baby. We got to keep it going. It's Wednesday night. It's a
Shut up.
Big Blue
Shut up.
podcast. You heard?
Hey, listen. All right, Big Pat gonna tell y'all about the whole running game with the Giants this year. I'm a little bit worried. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little bit worried, not because I don't think they're talented. It's because I think Brian Dable has finally put his stamp as far as running his offense with this team. As you know, in Buffalo, they didn't run the ball a whole lot while Brian Dable was there. It's not till after Brian Dable left mid-season last year where they found out that that running back was actually pretty good, and Cook. And they started giving him the ball and they started winning. So I don't think Brian Dable is a real guy that really wants to run the ball. I do believe he believes he can beat you passing the ball. Now, I will say this. I do believe we get over 10 rushes a game because if we're only running the ball 9 to 10 times a game, we better
We're
be
screwed.
we better be hella pass blocking out there for real.
Mhm.
Especially in our division. You want to really let them pin their ears back and go after your quarterback
You know who your right
90%
tackle
of the
is?
time?
Just
All right,
saying.
NYG. We're not going to get into that. You already know how you is about Evan Neal. I do want to see if we're going to start running more counters. And the reason why I want to run more counters with this team because we can use our team speed to our advantage with the counter. If we get you moving one way and we go the other way, it's going to be kind of hard to catch people like Singletary and Tracy and Wandale Robinson, and I think we're gonna do a lot of jet sweeps this year with Hyatt and Neighbors and Robinson, and it's a bunch of guys we can do that with on this team. We got a hell of a team speed, but overall, I want to see us at least average 14 to 15 carries a game. I think that's a very good number, and I think that's a number you have to do because you don't want these defenses just pinning their ears back going after the quarterback because we do have questions with Evan Neal.
Is it the right side or the left side you have questions about?
It's the right side with Evan Neal at right tackle. I believe he's a huge question mark. We don't know what he is. He's been often injured, and when he has been playing, he hasn't been playing well. And then I believe we're not putting light skins or Jermaine in his best spot, which would be right guard on the right side of the line. We're putting him at left guard, and we're putting Runyon at right guard. And when you look at the stats, he's actually played better on the left side. So it's weird philosophies with those guys when it comes to the offensive line and the run game, but we got to fix that up. We got to fix that up, man. But
I'll tell you what he is. You talking about we don't know what he is yet.
You said what?
I'll tell you you talking about we don't know what Evan Neal is yet.
We don't know what is Evan Neal. You don't know what Evan Neal is yet.
Did he say a bum?
Yeah, I mean,
he's only played. Stop it.
You're gonna see Pet Cemetery nigga bum.
Stop
Man, listen, he's only played in 20 games.
Jack, nigga Prince outlived Mike Jack, nigga bum.
Nah, I'm not calling him a bum yet, but I'm not
right tackle.
I just think you got to give him a shot, man. You don't know what he is. He's been hurt.
I'm just
don't know what he is.
I know Coach has defended this point to no return. He's only had 20 games. He's only played. I got it. I get it. After this season, though, if you still suck,
I'm giving him maybe 5 to 6 games, and if he doesn't show any progression, then you're gonna have to consider benching.
I'm gonna agree with my brother Lou there. He's a bum.
Yeah, every game I watched last year, I just remember thinking like, I felt like every game I watched, somebody went down, and then I felt like I just remember hearing, now they have to shuffle it again. Now they have to shuffle the offensive line again. Now they have to. Yeah, I felt like it kept happening. It was just like every week. It felt like every week it kept happening.
What y'all don't know is I played offensive line week 8. When Marcus McKeithen got hurt, they put me in for a couple of plays.
But the thing has been happening for so many years, though, and I think that's what's got Giants fans so frustrated. This is not like it's been like what 10, 12 years now
of bad offensive line play.
Yes.
Yeah, look it up. We've been horrible.
It's been at least 12 years of horrible offensive line work. The Eli's last 5 years, our offensive line was trash.
Yeah.
So, interesting.
Yeah, because you don't know about horrible offensive line play over there in Pittsburgh. Maybe 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I'm like,
If you really think back, Eli would say hike. They would be at him.
He was running for his life.
Spike the ball down at his feet. To
Eli was too old. Eli was too old at that time to be trying to run around. He would take the ball, literally spike it.
No, you're right. I remember that. And yeah, it's crazy though when you really think about it. You're right. Because and I hate to bring this up, but how long has it been? Every time you all play Dallas, every time you all play Dallas, I'm like, is the quarterback going to have any time, or is Dallas just going to run through the offensive line like nobody's standing there?
Oh no, Miss Flaw. It's because of Daniel Jones. It's Daniel Jones' fault that he has to run.
Man, you ain't know the Knicks lost Game 7. I mean, Game 6 because of Daniel Jones.
Because of Daniel Jones.
Oh man, look.
Yeah.
Now I wouldn't take it this far, Steve.
Daniel Jones.
Stevie Johnson says Eric Flowers might actually be better than Evan Neal.
Who's the offensive
They've
line
had-
coach?
But they
It's Brasillo
Video
now. It
now.
was
It
OG
was
Bobby
OG
Johnson
Bobby
last
Johnson.
year.
He was
He
doing
was
the
trash.
dribble all the
Right.
way
they
out
put
to
Eric
the
Flowers
stadium.
at guard, and he did play better. Just
Yeah.
saying.
He actually earned a
Just
contract
saying.
playing at guard. So
Just saying.
I can't call him a bust though after 2 years, Neymar. I just can't.
Nah,
I can't
he ain't
do
that bad. He ain't to that level yet. Not
But
Flowers. Level.
he's definitely trending
He's-
towards
yeah.
that. I will give you that. He's definitely trending towards that. Not a good look. But Alex, how do you feel about our O-line going into this season? Like, give me your analysis of our offensive line going into this season. Just either give us the bad news or give us some hope. What you got for us?
I think there's a lot of, I would say, X factors. I think they put Runyon on Neal's sides, help him improve his pass pro, because you saw Glowinski's strength was run blocking. That's what Neal's strength is right now. They want to even him out with Runyon on that side. So I'd like to see how that experiment plays out.
Running
But-
with who?
Well, I would say Runyon
brings us
with
back
Neal,
to that.
but anyway, I think the left side should be fine. I do think hopefully wherever you place the guards, whether Runyon is on the left or the right or Illuminor is on the left or the right, I think JMS should have a better second year.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
My thing is just Evan Neal because I heard y'all talking a little bit about the potential matchup against the Steelers, and they got 3 good edge rushers, not 2. They got 3 good edge rushers. They got Watt, obviously. They got Alex Highsmith, and they got a little stud in Nick Herbig.
Paul.
So,
Yeah.
and you know what?
Yeah, they do.
Whether Hayward plays or not, I mean that's a thing. I mean he'll probably play. He's 35, but see what Terrell Austin's going to do against us. There's going to be a lot of games where Evan Neal, if he's starting at right tackle, needs to prove it early. Week 1 against Jonathan Greenard or Dallas Turner. Week 2 against Dorrance Armstrong, which you should win that matchup. Week 3 against Myles Garrett. Week 4 against DeMarcus Lawrence. So it just goes on, and it's not going to get any easier.
Lord, I just thought about that. He's right, Alex. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's not great.
Ooh.
Trying to tell you.
Got the girl
Trying to tell
real
you.
quick.
Make the move
I just
now,
thought about
bro.
that.
I'm
You
trying
ain't
to
lying.
tell you, man. This ain't gonna be.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think he can hold his own in those, but that Myles Garrett matchup scares the hell out of me.
And that DeMarcus Lawrence, man.
And
Protect
DeMarcus
that kid's
Lawrence
lunch
owns him.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, he takes his lunch money every time he plays against. I forgot about that too. I
It's
don't
my
know,
chain,
man.
fool.
It might be 4 games he'd be out of there because if he's giving up sacks, and then we got to keep putting tight ends to your side, pause. I'm tired of that too.
The
I want that
break he
taken
gets-
out.
The break he gets in week 5 is Seattle, and Seattle has no edge presence whatsoever.
And he still might get beat the way he be playing. But you got to give him a shot. But I do want that taken out of the playbook as far as we have to keep putting tight ends like Bellinger or some of the blocking tight ends that we sign on Evan Neal's side because we're so scared. Yeah, we're so scared of him getting beat by the
Why
edge
did
rush.
they not draft? Did they not draft an offensive lineman?
Who?
Not this year.
No, not this year. We didn't.
No,
So you're telling me the offensive line?
We got 5 in free agency.
6.
Right
I thought
before
it was
the
6. I thought it was 6.
6.
Yeah, 6.
6 offensive linemen in the free agency
Was
right
it
before
6?
the draft.
Yeah, it was
5%.
Yeah.
$210 million in free
Stinney,
agency.
Schlodeman, Nelson, Illuminor, Runyon.
So 5. We
5
got
at the defensive edge. Yeah. Brian Burns.
I could have sworn it was 6 for some reason.
6 free agents, 5 of them were linemen.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting conundrum. Because if you don't know who your offensive line is going to be, that obviously that's a
But you
whole different problem.
also The
But
big
then you don't know
factor
who the
is,
running back is going to be.
but you also have, but
Singletary.
you also have a new offensive line coach. So everybody's coming in. Everyone in the offensive line is coming in fresh in terms of learning new techniques that he's going
Techniques,
to implement.
scheme, all of it.
It's not just it's the scheme is the same.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just
That
because the
Pittsburgh
same
Giants
offense.
organization is really flawed.
It's just
What'd you
that, you
say?
know,
You say it's really flawed.
The Giants organization is really flawed.
Right.
When you
It
really
really
think about it
is.
in life, everything kind of is. It's like,
But
I'm actually flabbergasted. Like yeah. I mean, I knew the offensive line was a thing, but I think when you really think about it, it's almost like I wonder how much of it is mental. Because at this point,
mhm,
when's the last time they've been good?
I'm telling you, that's a huge part of the game too, because your team could be bad for so long. Sometimes it really don't matter who you bring in there. Everybody
Doesn't
has the
matter.
mindset of, damn, we just gonna be bad. I
That's how the
mean, I've
Browns
seen
were
it.
for
Yeah,
decades.
I'm gonna tell you
right,
how bad it's been.
You heard me say pause, right, Coach?
right.
huh? No, no. I'm just laughing at all of y'all, man. I'm just laughing at all of y'all because I guess I'm different. I'm different. I just I guess I'm too arrogant. I'm too cocky. In my career is just I don't know. I'm different. I'm different. I'm just gonna
No,
leave it right
I've
there.
never been like that either. Like, I don't care what situation I go into. I don't care how bad you are. When I bring me and my good people here, we're gonna get better. That's my whole attitude about it. But you do have people out there that just psych themselves out. Don't matter who you bring to the team. Oh man, we just gonna be bad. It's
But I
kind of
think
like
it's the
Twitter.
cult. But it's the culture. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
a culture thing
And that's the thing. It's
because
I
they've
don't
been
buy into
allowed.
that. I don't buy into the fan culture of woe is me mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to be honest, and I get it because I've been a coach for 40 plus years. So, you know, I haven't had many losing seasons. So in my head,
Hmm.
I can't there's not a problem I can't overcome. I
Yeah.
just I just
It
I
goes
just
back.
have that mentality. I just have that attitude. It's like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin
Hmm.
was the Steelers. You go to the Steelers, you're confident. So
Yeah.
and I get it. I get it with the Giants fans. They've been invested. High low. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Your
Hmm.
camera. Yeah. Your camera. Sorry. You've been invested for so many years and you've been let down, and I get it. And me, it's just like I'm on to the next one. Let's go. It's like the
Who
next play.
do any of the guys that you guys got in free agency? Do they come from winning organizations?
Yeah. The Packers,
The Packers, the Stenny from Tampa
Buccaneers,
Bay. Well, I can't say the
the other guy
Raiders.
from the Lions, the
Yeah.
swing tackle we got from the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
So that will
it's
help.
it's all about. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's kind of a weak mindset to me. I don't care where I go, what situation I go into. I'm not just gonna be like, oh my God, we gonna suck because we sucked 10 years prior. No, it's about
Still got Daniel Jones.
right.
Mm.
There
Like I
you go.
said,
There you go, Hilltop. Okay, I got you.
Um,
it's dudes like him. It's just like him. The dude like him.
Yeah.
He's been here. He comes here every stream, but he wants to talk about somebody. It's just like them dudes on Twitter. Everything's negative, bro.
uh, but you know what? Like I don't know. I think there's something that happens though when this is going to sound terrible, but I think sometimes when you reach the height of your career and you know that it's the height of your career and your team or your position group just like isn't very good and you don't have to have high expectations, it almost breeds laziness and inconsistency because
Mm.
there's no expectation. And
Mhm.
I think we're talking about it as if like, come on, losers, like suck it up, man up, go out there, like take
Right.
some pride in what you're, you know what I mean? Like, but I think for them, it's like, we've been bad for so long. Did y'all see this coach? We're not doing this technique. You know, it like, so it's like this weird dynamic where it's like, but that's why I said I think leadership and culture matters. Like you can't do that at the Steelers organization. They'll just let you go. Period. Like you're out. I mean, look, we
Mhm.
literally said Antonio Brown, see ya. Like,
Yep.
bye.
But
Le'Veon, you don't want this contract?
And
Cool.
Le'Veon Bell, I was
Bye.
gonna say.
Yeah, like whether it was wrong, right, and different, I think it just sets the tone that like nobody is going to get away with half-assing.
yeah,
Oh
so
my
I
God,
think
they really put me up there. I'm sorry. Let me
Are they going at you in the chat?
Nah, they really try to push me today. They really try. I'm not gonna let y'all get me. I'm not gonna let y'all get me, man. I'm not.
I'm not a killer, but don't push me. Oh, sorry.
right. What's up, little bulldozer? Thank you for tuning in. Hope all is well with you. Ain't seen you in a little minute too. No Roach Dave in the chat tonight. He's over there watching the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, I guess. Goofy ass
Oh
dude.
my gosh. Yes, please.
Um,
Well, I need
think.
to jump off of here. I need to go work out, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let everybody know your channel and everything.
No.
Tell them where
Oh
they can
gosh,
find
I'm
you.
on the main screen. I was doing good, just kind of hiding in the. So my channel's really flawed. I talk sports. It's off season, so I'm trying not to just talk sports, just to talk sports. Like I said before, Texas fan, Colorado fan, and I'm doing my 32 fan series. So this week was the NFC East. Tomorrow the Giants episode tomorrow the Eagles episode will release. Release the Cowboys today. So if you haven't watched the Giants episode, I suggest you watch it because I've already heard people in the chat say that you acted different on the interview than you do on your own show. So that's cool. So at least I'll take that as a compliment that you wanted to chat with me. But yeah, I always say my YouTube channel is my brainchild. So there's a lot of sports. There's also just a lot of like life things. Spoiler alert, I do have a PhD. So a lot of the things that I do on my videos is about like researching and thought processes and why I'm thinking this and stuff like that. So it's just fun for me. And so it's just a cool outlet that I can release my brain and then get back refocused. So yeah, that's what my channel is all about. But the series is cool. And I think it's been amazing to see the responses that I'm getting from other people that are like, this is kind of cool. Oh wait, I didn't know anything about the Colts. Like, thanks for doing that because I don't watch them. So it's been cool.
All right, so
Yeah,
that's Miss Really Flawed. She has to leave us. She has to go work out.
yeah. But listen, I will be back. So you just keep sending me the links. Yeah, and I will.
Your brain.
What did you say? What did?
Let me go ahead and initiate you with your releasing your brain.
Oh
Pause.
Lord, here we go.
Good Lord.
Everybody gets
Oh my
it. I don't
goodness.
care.
Yeah, I know, Lou. I know.
Opportunities.
But
Pause,
you
please.
guys go subscribe to Miss Really Flaw's channel. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you for coming on.
Of course,
like
I will
said,
come
you're
back and
invited.
talk sports anytime. So you just send me those links, and I'll let you know.
Pause.
If I'm available, I'll pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't be a
I
stranger.
definitely
Also, if you see a
appreciate you,
video you like and it's like me going off on somebody or going in on somebody, and I never say pause. So it is what it is. It's a woman privilege. I ain't saying pause. I don't care.
Hey, and like I said, if you ever want to do videos with the Big Blue Crew, let us know and we'll show up and show out. Especially if you go live or anything like that. Since you came to our live, we'll definitely come to yours.
Yeah, you know where to find me.
Really flawed. Okay, don't be a
Right.
bunch of ninja watchers.
150 in the chat.
I appreciate each and every one of you, seriously, and just thanks for welcoming me. Because I'm sure that you're not surprised. It's harder for women to just like come in and talk sports and like just be a part of the conversation. So I just appreciate you inviting me in and all of you being so gracious. So thank you.
Complaints. I can't go to OnlyFans and make millions off feet pics. So
Right.
And that's why I don't say pause. It is what it is. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good night. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
All right, good night.
All right, she's pretty cool, man. She definitely knows football. She loves the game of football. It doesn't matter if it's college, arena, anything. She talks about it. So go subscribe to her channel. Show her some love, man. Show her what the Big Blue Crew is about. Yes, I do have a bottle of Hennessy I'm going to crack open in just a little while. Now it's over 2 hours. You're not getting me to 3, god dog, and I'll tell you that now.
That's good. I did
Um,
my job.
right. As a matter of fact,
You're welcome, Miss Floyd.
the last thing I want to talk about, and Lou already hit on this topic, was the run game. I do not believe that we're going to run the ball a whole lot this season. And Lou, I do think you're correct. Some of these games, we may only see 8 to 9 to 10 rushes in one game. Do I believe that's the way this should go? No, I don't care how many weapons you have. My philosophy is, you run the ball to set up the pass. That's always been my philosophy. I don't care how ancient you call me,
And you
dumb
run the
you
ball to
call
control the
me,
clock.
ignorant. Yeah, ignorant, whatever you want to call me. I've always been a guy that wants to run the ball to set up the pass, because if you're running the ball effectively, the play action comes into play. The RPO is more deadly. So
The
I
time
do
of
think,
possession.
time of possession.
You got
Mm-hmm.
a
You're
lethal
tiring the
quarterback on the
defense
opposite
out.
side of the field. You're
Yeah.
trying to keep him from getting the ball a lot. You want to control the clock and move the ball up the field strategically, getting points at the end of every drive and minimizing the amount of times that the opposing quarterback has the ball.
You frustrate the edge rushers because they're not able to rush the passer as more. They're trying to get after the passer, but if they have to hold the edge all day long and get somebody like how the great Larry Allen was, may he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to hold the edge against somebody like that all game long, why you think Emmitt Smith's the all-time leading rusher with that offensive line they had? They just broke you down.
Barry Sanders retired.
That's true as well. But Emmitt Smith would have been number 2. Oh, snap.
Yeah, if Al Davis didn't do Marcus Allen wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know,
true.
man. I know the New York Giants have always been led by their running game and their defense primarily when they've been good. And I mean, I think we got part of it with the defense. I just don't know what kind of offense they're going to put out there. And what we always talk about, complementary football. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have this offense that's boom or bust, going 3 and out all the time, keeping your defense out on the field all the time. It's gonna wear your defense out. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, control time of possession, and that's where the running game comes into effect. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Me and Coach, we talked about this last night. I don't on Heart of the City. I don't know.
Yeah, the
I
running
just
game is definitely question mark. But I just want to touch back on that for a second. And that wasn't no shade at Emmitt Smith because he's a damn good running back. But I just believe that Barry was better, and Marcus Allen got shortchanged because Al Davis didn't like him and he benched him, and then he went and drafted Bo Jackson right
I'll be
after
right
that.
back, fellas.
So, I think Marcus Allen would have had a hell of a career had he been with a coach who actually, had he been signed to a team whose owner was worth a damn. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, Emmett is number 3. I think Barry, and then Marcus Allen, and then Emmett.
Mm. See, if you're going to rank running backs, you're going to a
running
different.
backs.
You see,
No
because
Jim Brown.
exactly, man.
I'm not saying as far in that era. I think he wouldn't have
Oh,
been.
okay.
He
Well,
wouldn't have been the all-time leading rusher had Barry not retired and had Marcus Allen
Emmett
not got
wasn't
jerked around.
in the same. Emmett crossed over with Marcus Allen at the end of his career. Marcus Allen was in the 80s.
I know, but he got benched. He didn't get a
No,
full
I
like
get
he
you.
didn't play. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
when you said at 1, 2, 3, and you said the era. So that's what I'm
because
looking
he was the
at.
all-time leading rusher, and I'm saying in that era, I don't think he would have got it had Barry not retired
No,
and had Marcus
yes.
Allen not been jerked around. He probably would have been the third most leading rusher. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I get you. I get
You see
you
what I'm
in
saying?
terms of where you're going. Okay. That's fair.
Not
That's fair.
thinking
That's
the
fair.
third best, and Barry was number 1 all time. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he wouldn't have got the all-time leading rusher, I think he'd have been number
Mm-hmm.
3 had
No.
he not retired and Marcus Allen not got jerked around.
Yeah, we all know if Barry stayed, it would have been between him and I think it would have. Sweetness probably would have tried to push for
We
more
always
at
talk
that
about
time.
the offensive line. What running back had the worst offensive line out of all those?
I think it was Barry Sanders
Exactly.
because
That's why I
of
think
the
he's
things
greatest.
that he had to do. I mean,
Hmm.
Walter Payton in his early part of his year, he did have a bad offensive
All
line
right,
too.
go dog.
Well,
He
yeah,
did.
I was just
Yeah.
the ones that you guys were talking about. Marcus Allen, Emmett Smith, and
Yeah, the other no, I
so
know that. I was just saying crossover. I was just saying in terms of when Emmett was there, the crossover, like and I misunderstood what Lou was saying in terms of the rankings and so on and so forth. So yeah, Marcus, if he stayed with the Raiders a little bit longer, he could have been up there. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up, Alex?
No, I was gonna mention something about the running game, but I also wanted to mention something off topic. Do y'all see my comments in the chat? Well, for Big Patch chat, because I try to post my channel once or twice, and then my comments getting deleted, so that's a little odd. But don't mean to interrupt y'all. Keep going.
Blocking you from the chat.
Yeah, I try to post my channel like once or twice, and it keeps getting blocked. Or I refresh a page and the comment goes away. But
Let me see if I look on the outside. No, I
it
don't
will not
see it.
let you. Look. I'm gonna tell y'all something about YouTube. It will not let you post a link in a chat unless you have a wrench.
that makes sense. Then Pat's got to make me get a wrench then
Yeah.
when he comes back.
Or you'd have to go just pull up
Pause.
YouTube outside. Pull up YouTube on the outside
That's
if
got to
you can
come
do
back
it
and
that
make
way.
me get a wrench. Pause.
No,
Wait a
no.
minute.
Even if you go to YouTube, if you try to put a link in YouTube and you do not have
Really?
a wrench, it will not let you put that link in there.
I got you, Alex.
Thank you.
I didn't know that. Thank you, NYJ.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've been on YouTube for a little bit.
Yeah, that's stuff that I don't pay attention to. I'm not gonna lie. I admit it. Y'all are much more tech savvy than me.
Yeah, I have to go. I have to go to my
Telling
channel
that
and
lie.
make sure everybody got they modifications. I don't want to say the wrong word. Got the police out here, so.
Hmm.
Lou, what's good with you, Brody?
What's going on, man? Just posting links in the chat.
Hmm.
You got a wrench though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
See.
why. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Hmm.
Didn't even know that. Okay. Cool. But you were talking. We were talking about the running backs.
Mark
I
Allen
love
and
it when they be running and you pull them back. Oh, yeah.
this is about to go left.
Nah, I'm not paying Lou no. I'm not paying Lou no mind no more. I'm just not. I'm learning. I'm learning, man. I'm learning. So, but yeah, in terms of the running backs during that era, I understand what you're saying. But sweet. If Marcus Allen, I mean, not if Barry Sanders kept playing, I also think that Mark um, Walter Payton would have still been trying to push for it because he got the record before Emmett did. So and
Yeah.
he still would have tried to keep pushing. Yeah,
Well,
because he was while he wasn't in a a he was a more of a grinder and more of a he's going to lower his shoulder into your chest type of a running back. He will give you some moves from here and there, but and then he does the long step, the kind of with Deion Sanders with the high stepping. There were moments he would run like that, but Barry Sanders was just dynamic, man. And he'll start on the right side of the field, cut all the way back. As a coach, you're like, no, no, no. And next thing you know, he's bouncing all the way around and he's getting you 60, 70 yards. So, and it was, as a competitor, I hated seeing him retire, because I felt like he was always the best running back, for that time frame. And you always knew, you always measured up, and Barry Sanders would always bring it to the field each and every time. So,
But the Giants, we talked about the Giants have kind of been led by the running back by committee You know, they've always had at least two. You know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not
Hmm.
3 or 4, but at least always like two good running backs, and they've usually been change of pace backs. Now,
Mm,
what they got now is just a bunch of guys that are sort
Yeah.
of
you're right.
similar in
Uh,
skill set, not exact, but sort of.
Joe Morris, when he first, because he was drafted with Butch Wolford, arch nemesis from Westfield High School. Oh, God. But yeah, he was drafted, and Butch did not turn out as well as everyone thought. So that's why Joe Morris got the bulk of the carries, and he really didn't get a true second back until OJ came on board. Now if you want to say Maurice Carthen, because we did use the fullback back then, we really did run with the
Yeah.
fullback back in those days. But um, I'm
Shit.
trying to remember.
That
Rob
position, that
Carpenter
position
was
has
Rob
damn near been eliminated.
Carpenter. No, Rob Carpenter was, yeah, he was late 70s, early 80s. Then it was Joe Morris along with Butch Wolfork. I think that was 83 that they were drafted. Um, and then OJ came in 86.
Got our portable Wi-Fi.
Okay, you gonna
Okay.
send some of that over here right now? So I'll cut off all my
When we tailgate, when we go live from the
I
draft,
know
stuff
what
like
you would
that.
I know
We'll
what
have
you meant, bro. Stop it.
You know,
Stop it.
in run game context, I'm a little but not totally surprised we haven't picked up Jakob Johnson from the Raiders, fullback.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not gonna use it. He's not
Because
gonna
he's
do
not
it.
going to commit to the run. Right.
No. This is what their argument is. They're not. Dable is not fully. He's not a big run centric type of a coach. He uses just it uses it a little bit just to try and keep you honest in per se. To be honest
Yeah,
with you, that's really what he's. So he doesn't really need a fullback because that's taking up a roster spot. That he'd rather use a if he can use a
tight end,
tight end H back. He'd
Jack
rather do
Cole, Chris Manor, someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it. Anybody got a chance to see Barry Sanders play live? No,
No,
I
I
never saw
didn't.
him live. Never live. The only live I saw him was on TV. That's it. So,
Yeah. I never
but
got
in
to see
person,
him in
nah.
person. No.
I
It
wish,
probably
bro.
would have
I
been
wish.
dope though,
Yeah.
man, because he was a monster, bro.
So Diella, I respect you, bro. That's awesome right there to be able to see one of the great ones play live, man. I would have loved to seen the line blocking and just see what he's reading. Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen him live. I actually saw him at Smith live at a Bears game when I was younger, when they played the Bears. But as far as Barry Sanders, no, I never got to see him play live. We never went to a Detroit game. I don't know why when we were younger. But I got to see Brett Favre play live. That was the experience. Uh, got to see Aaron Rodgers play live.
I could see him at training camp. I mean, that doesn't count, but
Right. But yeah, I've seen some pretty good players play live. I've seen Jerry Rice play live. He was pretty, man. If you actually knew what them dudes actually had to go through to actually go out there and play on the field, knowing all these route concepts, all the defensive concepts, defensive line
Hmm.
concepts, man, it's amazing what those guys can actually go out there and do and actually be Hall of Fame caliber players. Like that's crazy. Um, but I'm about to get out of here, man. Any last things you guys need to say before we get up out of here? Doggone Lou.
he's gonna wait for the right moment and watch.
Right.
Hmm.
But hey, I will say this. Like me, Coach Lou, NYG, this is where we're on one accord as far as this team. I am worried about the run game. I do not want these guys go out here to be pass happy. Yes, we do have Hyatt. Yes, we have neighbors, Wandale Robinson, Slayton. Yes, we do have some receivers. Um, Theo Johnson at tight end. I don't think it's a good idea just to get away from the run game, because even the Chiefs, they use their run game, believe it or not. I know everybody, it's all Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is great. Is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. But they use that run game, and guess what? That defense saved their ass all last year. I don't care what nobody say. If it weren't for that defense, they probably even made the playoffs, because the receivers were so wishy-washy over there with the Chiefs this past year. And guess what? These are the guys, some of the guys Daniel Jones was counting on to be number one receiver. Richie James and Kadarius Toney, or Injerius Proney, as they call them.
But think about
little
what gets the
hamstring.
offensive line going. You know what I'm saying, so to speak. Pause. But it's running the football. You know what I'm saying? And I talk about Evan Neal, but his strength is run blocking. So like, why wouldn't you? I guess sort of commit to it a little bit. Just to get your offensive line some confidence. Because the Giants, even in 2022, they were a good run blocking offensive line. I don't know, man. Coaches get in their own way sometimes, man.
Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, everybody, you got to get with the times. You got to pass the ball. This is a passing league. Do. Most of the teams that went deep in the playoffs, Ravens, running team. The Chiefs, they weren't a completely running team, but they were more running team last year. Detroit, 2 good running backs. San Francisco, running team. So the run game is not dead, man. It's just people just feel like they don't have to use it anymore. But the run game is still alive.
We got him, y'all.
Oh, no, I'm about to get up out of here.
You'd wait for the right time.
Right. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in tonight with the True Big Blue podcast / New York Giants full access. Shout out to Really Flawed for coming through, showing some love to the Big Blue crew. You're probably going to see her a lot more. Overall, I think this defensive scheme can work with the people we have here. But the main thing, this wasn't even supposed to be part of the show, but the main thing, this running game, man, can we pick up 3rd and shorts? Can we get ourselves with the run game, get ourselves in 3rd and 3 and 3rd and 4s consistently throughout the game? Can we use the run game to take time off the clock? Can we use the run game to confuse defenses and be able to do the RPOs better, be able to do play action plays better, which is a strong point for Daniel Jones. The RPO and play action game is very strong for Daniel Jones. And can we get our defense a rest?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? The running game helps out the whole team, because if we're getting off the field 3 and out, and then we're using 8 to 10 minutes on drives because we can use the run game to keep drives moving, to keep the chains moving. Now that defense comes back even more energized to get them on another 3 and out. If we do it again, that 14-0 may seem like 35-0 because we done took up the whole first half and you ain't did nothing with it. It's 21-3 or something like that. That's what really good teams do. That's what the Cowboys did throughout the 90s. Yeah. So, I mean, the run game is very important. And once again, I got to say the run game ain't dead, man. It's just not being used. But until the very next live, which will be tomorrow, for the Big Blue Lounge with Big Blue Lou, tune in tomorrow night, Thursday night. And until then, you know what time it is, man. Welcome to the Gulag.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life. Gates!